Is that better? Yeah. Hello, everybody. Hello. Everyone, give me 1 second. I am struggling with my audio. Oh, okay. I fixed it. Never mind. How are we doing today? Mossy, hello. Snackers, hello. Snackers, you scooped up the brain cells so quick. How's it going, everybody? Mom, Bran. Awesome. Cool. Yeah, for some reason my Spotify audio was being weird for a second. Hello, Rabbit. How's it going? How is everybody doing today? It has been a hot minute, but I'm super excited. Amanda, thank you so much for that resub. Thank you so much. 10 months. Wow. Rain, hello. How are we doing today, guys? Do. Missed everyone. It has been way too long. Getting everything settled has just been such a task. But I'm so excited to be back and to be hanging out. And we should be jumping back into a normal stream schedule on Wednesday. So super excited. You're working today? Well, be safe out on all your drives, okay? All right, let me go ahead. We'll just jump into it today. How has the new house been treating us? So good. So good. We still have like quite a bit of boxes to unpack, but outside of that, we're like finally getting all settled, and I'm super excited. Ooh, good job on your blanket, Amanda. I can't wait to see an update picture. Let me switch us over to our collab page and get everything set up so that you can hear Cappy.
There's a hype train. Holy cannoli.
There's a hype train. Since when? Oh my goodness, Bran, thank you so much for gifting the sub to Mossy. Thank you.
We're almost a hype train. Sorry.
We're getting there.
Let's get that hype train going. Let's get it there. Here. I hope this isn't disabled. This is my favorite one.
Oh. It's not, surprisingly.
It's like an offset on the screen, though.
It is.
It almost works. Almost works.
So close. No.
Look, it's just even more chaos. Even more chaos.
There we go.
Happy Sunday, everybody.
Hello. Okay. Do. Make sure. Whoop, that's not what I meant to do. There we go.
Yeah, it's dangerous for me to know about that chaos bit donation. It's dangerous.
The Symphony of Panic. I think the offset makes it more funny. You're so sweet, Rabbit. You're so sweet. Just making sure I didn't miss anybody. Hello, LG. How's it going? How's it going? We're matchy. We have our coding hats. I love it.
Coding hats.
Coding hats.
Hope
Gotta
everyone
have them.
has their bean water or herb juice or fresh water. What is that? What is yours? Oh, okay.
It is a cold brew.
Cold brew, nice. So for my birthday, my partner, I had a Keurig, so I used like the reusable Keurig. My partner, but it was the very first version of the Keurig. So I have reusable cartridges. It's like I put my own. I hate the disposable cartridges, but like it's the little ones you use. You fill your own coffee and then reuse them. Anyway, it had like started having some issues. It like had a blockage and stuff in it. I was like, really want a new one. My partner she got the newest Keurig, which has a cold brew option. It has just like a hot water option. It has like a strong coffee. It's all these extra features. So there's one that doesn't have all the fancy features. That's newer. And then this one is like $50 more. We're both very disappointed in the cold brew. Do you know? We were like, how does it work? How does the cold brew work? The instructions say, add ice to your cup and then press the. Yeah, just said you just add ice to the cup. I'm like, why does it cost $50 more for or whatever? I don't know what it was, but it cost more for the cold brew feature.
Just for you to put ice.
I think it passes the water through slower, so it is stronger. So I think because there is a cold brew button, but the cold brew button, like next to it says, be sure to add, it's like add ice
Add
to
ice.
your cup first. Like,
My
well, I could have
goodness.
done that with just
regular
brew.
coffee. Yeah.
I-
Nick, hello, welcome in. Oh, you're at work? Have a good day at work. Be super safe.
All right. All right. How is the new house? Is it a house apartment?
It's a house. It's been really good.
Awesome.
Yeah, the space is so nice, and honestly, all of us are breathing better. Our last place, oh, we're just feeling a lot better now.
I feel like the air quality in the place I am is really bad. I feel like we have to replace the air filters all the time. It's crazy. Yeah, so I think we have a similar we can't wait to move. We've been wanting to move for
I'm so excited. Do you guys have any plans? Like anything ready?
Deadline of moving by January. Set a deadline of moving by January.
Nice. Heck yeah.
We've just been watching the housing market slowly start to collapse a little bit. We think December, January is probably going to be the best time. No one wants to move around that time.
No.
But I think we're going to do it. I think that's going to be our best bet. So we've sort of set that deadline for ourselves to move. And so in December 1st, we're going to tell our current landlord that we won't be renewing for next year. So we've already set in our heads that's what we're going to do. So we're making sure we have a place.
I love
or
that.
maybe we'll just go live in a box down by the river. You know?
So much
if suddenly the captain's gone, folks, don't worry, we got a box down by the river.
I love that. Nick, have a good time at work. Yes, the Pumi Moose is actually, I don't know. You guys can see her, right? Yeah, she's passed out back there. I actually got her to hang out with me today.
Fran, that's right. River boxes. River boxes.
River boxes for the win.
Is that what FTW means?
Yeah.
For the win?
For the
Okay.
win.
I know. My sister, I think, thinks it means something different.
Oh no.
she's like in the punk rock world. I think FTW means something different.
Oh, gotcha.
She has a tattoo of two skulls, and there's a big web between them. It has FTW in the middle.
Huh. I wonder what it stands for.
The world are the last two words of that one.
Okay. Interesting.
Maybe it means,
Love it.
the friendly the world. Maybe
Yeah,
the big friendly
maybe
world.
that's
I'm
it
go
for
with
sure.
that.
Mhm.
Definitely that. Farron's mom, I don't know about that one. That's a stretch.
No, yeah, that's really jumping outside of the box. I love it.
Indeed. No, but I love the world. The world's a great place. It's full of magical coding cats and amazing people like Farron. What are we doing today, Farron?
We are starting to work on a platformer.
Yeah, are you excited? I'm so excited.
Super excited.
Everyone got your learning caps on? You got your learning caps on? You need to have a learning cap photo op contest.
Yes. Yes.
I wanted to do a costume contest or like a clip contest or something this month, and I just got too busy. Everything fell through.
Oh no, we're gonna be doing a costume contest on the 5th.
On the 5th, okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna do mine on Tuesday, but I decided not to. I think I'm just gonna play scary video games, or maybe we'll do some scary programming. I don't know.
Oh, I would be interested in seeing that.
Yeah. FTW is a place in Chicago. Oh,
Interesting.
is it the name of a place? Like it's like a Dave and Buster's. Very interesting. For the win, I can imagine an arcade called FTW for the win. Yeah.
You have a Stitch thinking cap. I love it.
Nice. Okay. Are you ready to jump in, or?
Yes.
I'm
ready. Let's
the first thing we gotta do. I can't look over here, so I have your stream over here, and it's 5 seconds behind, and then right here I have you're like live, so you're like 5 seconds behind over here, so it's really weird every time. I keep wanting to look over to talk to you, but really you're right here anyway. Anyway, I'll stop saying anyway now. Anyway, here we go. Anyway, we need to add in something to be our character on the screen. Over on the left side there, you see the hierarchy.
Yes.
This is where all our game object goes. I think you may remember.
Yes.
We need to add in a sprite for our character. So we're gonna right click over there and we'll go down to 2D object. And let's go to sprite and let's add in a square. This is gonna be our character start. Look, we have a character.
Nice.
Over on the right side, let's give our character a little bit of a color. I mean, you can have, if you want a white square, that's okay too. Do you want a white square or do you want,
No.
All right, so let's go ahead and
make
click.
them pink.
Ooh, beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. We have a character now. We need to write some, by default, it's just there. It doesn't do much of anything.
Right.
We're going to add in a script that's going to control. We're going to create a script to control our player. We're going to call it our player movement controller. Let's create a folder for all our scripts. So down in the bottom there where it says assets, you can right click. We're going to create folder all the way at the top. Create folder, call it scripts. And then let's go ahead and open that up. Right click one more time. We're going to create a new C# script. So create C# script. And we're all one word. So it lets you name it here. All one word. Player, capital P. Player, no space, capital M, movement. And then capital C, controller. Player movement controller. Wish there was a way I could just view your video. Because it makes it be side by side with me and I can't make it bigger. One second. I'm gonna try something. Hang on. I'm gonna see if I can get your picture bigger for me. 1 second. I really just don't want to see myself.
The pink does not surprise me. It shouldn't, Rabbit. It should.
There we go. Okay, it's a little bit better. All right, press enter. It should create a script for us. And I think we need to set it up so VS Code will work. So in the top there, in the top menu where it says window.
Up here?
Yeah, top window, package manager. There's one little step here we got to do to make it interact with Visual Studio Code properly. In the little search box on the top right of this window, type in Visual. And this is counterintuitive, but select Visual Studio Editor and update to update. It's just like it starts with version 0.18 and update to the latest version so it'll work with Visual Studio Code.
Nice.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Cool.
All right. Let's go ahead and close that. Let's double click. Let's see on the player movement controller. Let's see if this will open up Visual Studio Code for us. Hey. There we go.
Nice.
There we go. Off screen real quick. Can you click the live share button over on the left? Do you remember how to do live share?
I do.
Yeah, I need the live share link. Then I can hop in and I can write a little bit of code. We can talk a little bit about the code and then we can have a jolly good time.
Okay.
Uh-oh. Everyone sees our secret messages, Farron.
Our secret messages. They're
super secret messages.
Secret.
Now everyone knows. Now everyone knows that we talk to each other outside of Twitch.
How? How dare? I think that's it. That should be it.
All right, let's see here. Open up. Give me an option to open Visual Studio, please. Please?
Please?
Hello? All right, 1 second. Bear with me, folks. Grab your bear with us. It's gonna be secrets.
I love that Blem emote. It is so cute. All of their emotes are just amazing. Womble did a great job on them.
Okay. All right. This might have my real name, but that's okay. Everyone kind of already knows my real name.
Fair.
It's not much of a secret when you have a business that you used your real name before you started streaming. All right. I think I might have changed the cap. Oh, it does say CaptianCoder. Beautiful. There I am. All right.
Nice.
If you want to adjust this so people like it's kind of blocked on the screen a little bit. There we go. All right, and if you click, oh, you've already closed it. Beautiful. All right, so this is our player movement script. By default, Unity has Real quick, quiz question. Quiz, and someone in the chat too chat can answer this question. If you answer before Farron, you win. You win. We have named this using capital P, capital M, capital C. What for absolutely nothing. For pride and glory. What is it called when you name something? No spaces, but all capital letters for the start of the words. Starts with a P. I'll give you a hint. Starts with a P.
Pascal case.
Pascal case. Farron wins. Chat. You lose. You lose. Chat. You lose. You're too slow. All right, Farron.
So
excellent
close,
job.
Farron.
Excellent job. Pascal case. Lovely. Lovely. Do you remember what these things are called? You wrote some of these. Starts with an M, ends with an method.
A method.
They're methods. Yeah, you got that. Any help? Any help? All right. So there is a start method and an update method that we get for free. When you make this script, this is a template file it creates for us in Unity. Start happens once when the program launches. We're not going to use this one right now, so go ahead and delete that. I'm going to have you delete that section. Rabbit Moon, Rabbit says, not fair that I code for a living. Not fair. It's okay. Look. Sometimes life's not fair. Sometimes life's not fair. All right, so we are going to use our update method. This method in Unity, when it's attached to a game object, every single frame it executes. Every single frame it executes, and this allows us, this allows us to do some stuff. So for example, our player character, we want to be able to move our player character on screen. We're gonna start out just getting the player character move across screen. Go back to Unity real quick. And go ahead and select your, it's called square in the sample scene there. Select the square in the hierarchy. Let's rename that. Do you remember how to rename it?
Apia?
Yeah, it's gonna be our player. It's called player. Okay. We have that thing called transform. Let's admit, if you wanted to change the position of that player on the screen, what do you think you would do in the inspector there on the right? What would you do? We want to move our player left and right.
You would type in kind of the location.
Yeah, you could type in a number there. Yeah. You can also see where it says X. You can actually click on the X, and then you can drag left and right and like do little micro adjustments there. So we are looking, the variable we're looking to adjust is our transforms X position. Our transforms X position.
Okay.
Okay. So in the code, we want to think, all right, I need to get to the transform. I need to modify X somehow. So let's go back to our code. If you wanted to access a transform, imagine there's a variable here. Because there's a bunch of secret variables here that you get for free. What do you think the name of the variable is that lets you modify the transform?
Transform?
Transform, all right, transform, all lowercase, transform. Press dot, transform dot. What is the dot called?
I don't remember.
You remember? You don't remember? Most people call it the dot operator, but I always tell there's a special word for it. Member access.
Member access.
Member access. Because it lets us access our members. Access our members. All right. So we have transform dot. Let's scan through these. Press the down arrow. Scan through. Which one of these do you think is going to let us modify where our? There's a lot of things in here. Which one of these do you think is going to let us modify? Where the location? Oh, I see.
Position?
Boom, position. Beautiful position. All right, we need to change the position. So we're gonna do transform.position. How do we change a variable?
Oh.
How do we reassign it? There's like there's an operator that lets us assign things. It's called the assignment operator. Do you remember what symbol it is?
I do not.
So it's because I'm calling it assignment operator that you don't remember. It's just the equal sign.
Oh.
Yeah. So the equal sign is called the assignment operator. So typically, just for spacing, we need to do equals. And if you hover over position here, go ahead and hover over position. You'll see it says position is a vector 3. Position is a vector 3. That's where the X, Y, and Z come from. X, Y, and Z. So let's go back to Unity just real quick, real quick. You'll notice position here as X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
That's because it's a vector 3. It's a vector 3. So we're gonna modify. We're gonna modify our position. Let's go back. And we want to make it be the position that we're, so transform.position plus like new vector 3. This is all new stuff. We're gonna increase by 1, 0, 0. Does this make any sense?
Yeah.
So it's going to take the position that we were previously, and then it's going to increase the X position by 1. So plus, going to add 1 in there.
Awesome.
Right. Do you think this is too fast, too slow?
No. That generally makes sense. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, like in the screen. So how often is update going to happen?
I don't know.
How often does update happen?
It happens every frame. Every frame. So they're just gonna start rolling to
how
the
many
right.
frames? Well, maybe. Let's go check. How far is 1? Let's go over. Let's see. Let's go back to our game here. Let's set X to 1. All right. So after 1 frame, we'll move that much. Set it to 2.
Set it to 2.
So that's after 2 frames. So that's 2. Is that going to be too fast? So if we're running at 60 frames per second, okay, 60 frames. too much. All right, so let's come back. What number do you think would be a reasonable number to move here? Go back into to the editor and change that 1 to something.
Oh gosh. Maybe like point. 20 or something like that.
Point 20. Let's try it. All right, and it's complaining that there's a couple things. It's complaining that I don't know if we talked about this yet. It's saying that this here needs to be a float, so we have to put an F at the end of it.
Okay.
We talked about floats.
I don't think so.
Okay. A float is just like, turns out in computers we have like integers. Everything's binary in a computer. It's still crazy to me. It's hard to understand. It's so crazy. Anyway, everything's binary, so whole numbers we can kind of represent. Decimal numbers, turns out it's really hard to represent in binary. Not really hard, but like there's limitations. So we've created this thing called a floating point number, and it's an estimate. It's not always exact. It's sort of like, we're gonna pretend it's close to this number. So that's why it's called a floating point number. And you can, in math, 1 divided by 3 is 0.33333 repeating forever, right?
Right. So
even in decimal, it's really hard to represent fractions as a number.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of some numbers are impossible to represent. It's the same thing with binary. And so the F just means it's a floating point number. It sort of floats near the value that we want.
Okay.
All right, let's. How do we test this?
Would we do .NET Run? No.
That'd be cool. We can't do that. Instead, we go to Unity. We press the play button.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah. So the play button is kind of like .NET Run, but like it's Unity's version of let's run some stuff.
Right.
And I'm gonna encourage chat to ask. I'm trying to keep an eye on chat. If you guys have questions, feel free to ask. Nothing happened. What do you think's going on?
Nothing happened.
Nothing's happening. What did we attack? Yeah, so go ahead and stop that play button. Our player, pause is not a good idea usually.
There we go.
Play if you're editing stuff in play mode, it like won't save properly.
Oh, okay.
We have not yet attached this player movement script to our square. Even though we wrote player movement, it's not attached to anything by default.
Okay.
So how would we add this component to our player? So the player movement controller is a component. It can now be added to any game object.
Okay, cool. Click add component right here.
That's one way to do it. Yeah, let's do it that way. And if you start typing, there's 10 billion things here. So typing, player, movement controller is probably the easiest way. And then there it is.
Nice.
Okay. Now this is attached to that player game object, which means when we run it, every frame that update method will happen. So let's try it.
Okay.
Bran, you need a bigger hat.
Ah!
There it goes. There it goes.
That was way too much.
It's way too much. Maybe making a racing game. All right, so let's go ahead and hit the play button to stop the play mode. Rain was saying that too. Yeah, stop play mode. Let's come on back to player movement controller.
Okay, in Visual? Yeah,
Visual Studio Code. Okay, so we want to let's create a variable. Up here, we're gonna create a member. We're gonna create a member variable.
Nice.
All right, so up here, we're gonna create a member variable to represent how our player's speed. This is our player movement, so we're gonna create a public float speed like this. Public float speed. It's gonna represent how fast our player moves.
Okay.
All right. We set the default to 0.2 like this. Notice I have this F here. If I don't put the F there, it's a, hey, by the way, you said this was a float. This is our data type float. We have to specify it's an F here. And I'm going to have you substitute in here. Replace this 0.2 with the word speed or the variable speed. This is our member variable.
Okay.
And bye, Rain. It's true. It's like, see ya. I'm out of here. All right, let's save. Let's go on back over to Visual Studio. Oh, sorry, Unity. So notice, check it out, our player movement controller now.
Oh, okay.
There's a speed.
There is.
There's a speed. We can adjust that. We can say, okay, how fast do I want this thing to go? And this is saying every frame we're gonna move this much. It feels a little weird kind of do it every frame. Why is it weird to do it every frame? Do you have an idea why it's weird to do it every frame?
Well, because normally you'd press a button and then they'd move.
Well, it's true. Normally you'd press a button and then they move, but does everyone's game run at the same frame rate?
Oh, no.
No. So, when you're running on a potato, you have fewer frames. When you're running on, a microwave, a couple more. You're running on a microwave with a potato, even more. Right? So it's a little weird to do it based on per frame.
Right.
Instead, let's try and redefine speed here as how fast we move per second.
Okay.
Per second. That would be a much better metric, I think. Do you think that's a better metric?
Yeah.
Okay, so how many units per second? And we can say when the player presses the button, this is how fast we move per second. So for now, let's just imagine we'll make it so it moves when we press something.
Right.
But how fast do we want to move per second? 0.2, does that feel too slow? Maybe not.
That feels like that might be too slow now.
So one way you can think about it is, what is the width of our camera? What is the width of our camera?
Oh.
Do you know?
No.
Click over on the main camera in the hierarchy. Our camera size. So our camera, we can see in the inspector, it has a size variable.
Oh, it does. It's 5. Okay.
It says from the center to the edge of the screen is 5 units.
Okay.
So using that, how fast do you think we want? And here's the thing, you can make that number bigger. So if you set it to like 10, set it to 10 real quick.
The size?
Yeah.
Ooh.
It zooms out, our camera gets
does.
wider. All right, so now our camera has 10 units from the center to the edge.
Okay.
Rain, I'm a potato. I'm a potato. Is that how that song goes? I thought it was a banana song. All right. Let's go. 5 is like a standard number here.
Okay.
We'll do 5.
I'm gonna go back to 5.
Yeah. So we'll play around with this number here, but let's go to our player. Let's set it to 1 for now. Let's set it to 1, our speed to 1. It's definitely too fast for every frame. But there is a way we can ask the computer, or ask Unity, not the computer. I guess Unity's right on here. We say, how many frames, what is our frame rate? We can ask what the frame rate is. So let's go back to our code. We can ask what our frame rate is. And we can do that. There's a special thing called time.delta time. So time is sort of this library that gives us information about how much time has passed in various states. Delta time, hover over the keyword delta time here. The interval in seconds from the last frame to the current one. So this is going to be how much time has passed since the last frame.
Oh, okay.
So if we use this as a multiplier, so if 1 second has passed, this value will be 1, and we multiply our speed by that value. And so if 1 second has passed, we'll move our speed. If half a second has passed, we'll move half our speed.
All right.
If like 1/60th of a frame has passed, we'll move 1/60th of the speed. So like if we're running at 60 frames per second. Okay, let's give this a try. Did that make sense, or was that too crazy?
I feel like it was a little over my head.
That's okay. That's okay. Let's try it. Let's go back.
Okay.
We'll try it here.
Let's do.
Just so you know, delta time's kind of confusing.
Okay.
0.2.
Look
Oh no,
at
that's
us
one.
go.
That's one. That's one. Yeah.
Look at us go.
So-
We're gone.
We can go ahead and stop here. We can play around with that number now. That number 1. Is that how fast you want? That feels too slow, I think.
It does. It feels a little too slow, yeah.
All right. So what I'm gonna say is let's put our square. Let's move our square all the way to the left side of the screen. So we're in game mode right now. If you switch to scene, I saw you try to grab it and move it. In the top left, in the top middle, you see where it says game?
Yes.
It's like a tab that says game. If you click the tab right next to it, it says scene. You can actually move it here. I would recommend moving it. You can do it that way. There's also over on the left side, select the movement tool. So you see in the right below where it says scene, there's like 5 little buttons. That's the move tool. If you select that,
Okay.
you get some like precision
yes.
movement.
I remember us messing with this.
You remember.
I remember.
Yeah. So we'll put our character over there. Let's go to our game scene. Let's set our speed, maybe 2.
Yeah. 2 sounds like a good idea.
All right. Rain's thinking about Delta Airlines. All right. How do we feel about that?
Yeah, that's good. Maybe a little faster.
You think
but I
that
think
maybe a
that's
little
good.
faster? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go ahead and stop it. Okay. Let's get the player to press a button. You're the
Okay.
player, so we're gonna get you to press a button. Let's come back to our update. Come back to our update method in Visual Studio Code.
Boop.
We're learning a lot. All right, so we're gonna have. I want you to create a variable on line 11. It's gonna be a float, so it's gonna look kind of like this. Float, and this is gonna be user input. So float.
Okay.
This is gonna be basically be if the user is pressing left, right, or nothing.
Okay.
So if they're pressing left, it's going to be -1. If they're pressing right, it's going to be +1. And if they're not pressing anything, it's going to be 0. Does that kind of make sense? So that's why I'm calling it user input. It's probably a terrible name for it, but that's the best I can come up with. So float user input. And let's remember our variables can't have spaces in them because the computer's not smart enough for that. So we use what's called, you should have capital I. You don't have to, but that's what all the cool kids do. What is it called when we have lowercase for the first letter, but capitals for the letters that precede? So lowercase in the first letter here. I know. Camel case, yeah. So we got a camel here. User input is going to be equal to, and we're going to learn a new thing here. I believe it's called input.getAxis. And the axis we want is the horizontal axis. So this is getting left and right. Let's get left and right. Horizontal axis. And we can, do you remember how to comment things out?
No.
All right, so click on line 12. Redmer, don't be triggered. Press Control and then the /. There we go. So this made this comment said, we're gonna not move our player character anymore. So put these 2 slashes at the beginning. It says ignore
Okay.
this line when it's executing. Instead, we have
Gotcha.
user input here. Debug dot, you know what? Actually, I'm going to do public float user input like this. And just so we can see this in the inspector, user input is equal to user input. I know this is weird. I'm sorry. Let me see. Can I get a better name for this? Debug output. Okay. So we have our user input. Debug output is going to be a value that we can see in the inspector. It's going to be a value you can see in the inspector. So let's go back to Unity here. So we want to be able to see what we're doing. I want to be able to see what we're doing. And go ahead and press play. And by default, A and D are our horizontal axes. So if you click down there, press A. Notice you see the debug output in the inspector.
Yeah.
Press A, press D. You'll be able to see the value goes to 1 or to
Gotcha.
-1. So this is, and when you're not pressing anything, it goes to 0. So this is going to represent our a thing where we can use it to say, I want to go left or I want to go right. So we have this input. Let's just say, I want to go left, I want to go right.
Okay.
So when we're going left, our X value is going to decrease. I'm pointing the wrong way because my camera's flipped. Decrease. We're going that way. When we go right, our value is increasing.
Right.
Does that make sense?
That does make sense.
Okay, so let's go. Let's stop play mode here. Let's go back to our code. And let's uncomment line 14. So control/ will do it. A line that's commented, control/ will do it.
Cool.
And we want to use user input to change which direction we're going. So I have a question for you. This is a math question. This is where like people say, do I have to know math to do programming? It's like, you should know a little bit. You should know a little bit, right? There's some things you gotta know. So we're gonna have a little math quiz for you here. I'm gonna create a value instead of debug. I'm gonna change this to horizontal velocity. And so our horizontal velocity is going to be our new vector 3 of speed. Okay. It wants this to be, sorry. I'm really bad at this today, velocity. So bad. Hang on. This is so confusing. I'm so sorry.
You're okay.
Vector 3. All right. So this is going to be our current like user input velocity. New vector 3 does not take. Oh, I have too many zeros here. All right. So it's going to be our speed times our user input. So we're going to multiply it by our user input. So if our user input, the user's not touching anything, what is user input?
0?
0. What is anything multiplied by 0?
0.
0. All right, so awesome. Our user velocity will be 0 if we're not touching anything.
Right, perfect.
All right. If we're pressing the right key, so we're pressing D to say want to move right, our value is going to be 1. So it's going to be our speed times 1. What's anything times 1?
The same.
The thing that's the identity.
Yeah.
So in math, we call this the identity function. So multiplying by 1 is an identity function. If they press left, user input's going to be what?
-1.
-1. If we multiply our speed by -1, what value are we going to get?
Negative the speed.
Negative speed. We're going to go the other direction. Awesome. Okay. So now we can take, and don't forget we got to put our times delta time. Okay, time.delta time. This is the part that's like tricky. Time.delta time. When we talk about, the reason we're multiplying delta time in here, again, when 1 second has passed, delta time will be equal to 1. And so that's why we put delta time in here. Does that make any sense? Does it make it maybe
a little bit?
modicum?
Yeah.
Okay. If it's less than 1, we go slower. If it's more than 1, we go faster.
Right.
So make up for it. All right. So now down here, we're gonna say, okay, update by our velocity.
Nice.
Does this make sense?
Yes.
Okay, let's try it.
Let's do
Let's do. I'm gonna do it, folks. All right. Can you move?
I can move.
Can you go the other way?
Yes.
All right.
Awesome.
And can you stop? Are you able to stop?
Yeah.
Beautiful. Okay.
Nice.
How does the speed feel? Is that the speed you want?
It's definitely slow.
All right, we can play. Let's adjust the speed number down there.
Bam, bam.
You can adjust it while you're in play mode. Here. Let's hit play, and so that way you don't have to keep hitting stop and play.
Okay.
All right, so we can play around with it.
Maybe 2.5.
Play with it till you get. Play with it till you find something you love. Chat, feel free to suggest a speed.
That feels good. There's some
4
get
feels
up
good?
to it, but it's not too fast.
Got a little get up to your go. Got some get up to your go.
75.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
75. Let's try it. 75
Let's do
units
it.
per second. Brand, we gotta do it.
Gone.
Too fast? Too fast?
You think just a little bit, maybe? Just a tiny bit too fast?
You ever? I've been playing. Have you heard of Risk of Rain 2? I've been playing Risk of Rain 2.
I haven't.
It's a game. In the game you can collect. There's like collectibles, and one of the collectibles you just like. It's like a rogue light. It's a rogue light. You collect things as you're playing. One of the things you can get like increases. It's like adds a multiplier to your speed. It's like plus 10%.
Oh.
But they stack. You can just keep getting them. Just keep getting them, and you can get to the point where you're moving that fast, and you can't. It's horrible. The game's no longer a player. You just run off. You can't do anything. You're too fast. Anyway, 75 is too much.
I love it.
So what I want you to notice is when you stop. So let's exit out. We're gonna hit the play button one more time to stop. Notice speed reset.
It did.
So when you exit play mode, it will return everything to the state at which you started.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it remembers, because your game changes while you're in play mode. It will reset everything back to the beginning. So you can play around, test things out in play mode, but you have to remember that things won't save.
Gotcha.
It's the danger. It's the danger. So now that we know what we want, we can set it there. Okay, awesome. All right. Let's add in, what do we want to do next? Okay, let's add in a platform.
All right.
So how do we need to add in a new thing? How do we add in a thing here?
We go up here, we right click, and then we pick an object.
We're in 2D land. I'll do 2D. What type of platform do you want? I'm gonna suggest a square. Square. All right, let's go to scene mode. And let's make this a platform. Let's adjust it so you can move it around, but there's a little over on the left there. Forget what it's called, but it's the down, lower. One more. That one, the rect tool. There we go. Try that one. I think we can reshape it using that. All right, so let's make a little platform.
Nice.
Let's add a few of these. So we have a square.
Okay.
Let's make it so that we're gonna make it so we can like jump to.
Nice.
Let's make it so we can fall.
Okay.
So let's add it. Let's make, because we don't, jumping's a whole thing. But let's duplicate that. You remember how to duplicate?
Is there a fancy shortcut?
Control D will also duplicate.
Okay.
Or Control C, Control V. I think you have to click in. There you go. All right. Now you can move that one. Okay. And seems pretty good. All right. If we run this, do you think your player's gonna fall onto these?
probably not gonna notice that they're there at all. There's no like.
It's not gonna notice it. Why won't it notice? Yeah, there's no gravity. There's no gravity. That's right. Well, you're like, well, there were no platforms before, and
right.
It didn't seem to care. Good answer. Good answer. I teach 10-year-olds a lot.
Right.
And 10-year-olds will put them in and be like, I don't know why it just didn't know what I wanted. It couldn't read my mind. Couldn't read my mind. I added these platforms in and they don't do anything. So we're gonna use something called physics with box physics. So Unity's 2D engine uses something called box physics. There's a library for it. Thanks, Bran. And it uses something called rigid body physics. So there's rigid body physics. Assumes everything is like a solid shape. So like soft body physics would be like a cloth or like jello type stuff. Unity doesn't have soft body physics built in. There's some things you can buy to make it happen, but we're gonna do rigid body physics.
Okay.
And so if we go over to our player here, let's go click on our player. Let's add a component, and we're gonna add in a rigid body 2D. So if you start typing in rigid body, it's one of the built-in, and we're in 2D land, so we're gonna do a 2D rigid body. We're gonna add that in there. And you'll notice, it's a little covered by the screen for me. Can you scroll down just a hair maybe? Okay.
Yeah.
You'll notice that this has stuff like how much it weighs, how much drag we get, if it should use gravity, that sort of stuff.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and hit play. Well, hang on. Before we do that, what do you think is gonna happen now? We've added a rigid body to our player.
Hopefully, they will. Personally, I think they're just gonna like drop right off the screen.
Okay, that's a guess. I like it. You think they're just gonna fall off the screen? Why do you think they're gonna just fall off the screen?
Because I don't think the platforms actually have boundaries.
They don't.
Yet,
They're just images on the screen. Yeah, you're exactly right.
Yeah.
Let's move our player up a little bit so that they have a little extra room to fall. All right, let's hit play.
Go to game, play. Boop boo. Nice.
And there they go. Into the abyss forever. All right, good guess. Excellent guess. I can't give you points on your own channel. We're on my channel. I'll give you some bonus points. Okay. So, what do you think we need to do to our platforms?
They need some. Do they also need? No, because then they would
rigid
drop.
body will make you like interact with gravity. So we don't want a rigid. If we added rigid bodies, those platforms would also fall.
Yeah.
So we need something that they like will interact with. That's what you were saying. Like, there's not like a bounding box or anything. Unity calls these colliders.
Okay.
Unity calls them colliders. So we're gonna add a component here. We're gonna add in a box collider 2D. There's a bunch of different types of colliders. We're gonna do a box collider 2D to our squares. And let's switch to our scene view and you'll be able to see it's pretty good at figuring out how they should be. So let's go back to our scene view real quick. And you'll notice now it's kind of hard to see actually still. You see in the box collider, there's like it says edit collider and there's like a little button on the right side. You click that, it actually shows it's like wrapped the box perfectly around.
Oh, nice.
It's like that little green thing. If you wanted to create, if you had like a different type of shape, you could adjust it. Let's add a box collider to our other platform as well. Okay.
Nice.
All right, let me ask you now. Do you think we're done? They have colliders.
I would say yes.
Okay. All right. All right. So Farron thinks we're gonna hit play, and then what's gonna happen, Farron?
Hopefully they'll land on the platform.
All right, let's try it. Fun fact: if you leave it on scene mode, when you hit play, it'll automatically switch to game mode.
Oh, cool. Saving time. Nope. Out of there.
What do you think happened? What do you think happened?
I'm not sure.
Our platforms have colliders.
Oh,
does
but the sprite doesn't. That makes sense.
The player does not have a collider. The player's like, I can't touch anything.
Right.
All right, reading rainbows now. All right, so we got to add a box clutter to our player now. I think now it'll work. So let's do this. Let's do this.
Hi, Ghosty. How's it going?
Boom.
Nice.
And if we walk, oh, we rotate. So do we want rotation on our players? So hit bring. Get all the way to the edge. Most platformers don't. Get all the way to the edge, but don't go off. Just go off enough, and then gravity will take you. Gravity will just go a little bit more. A little bit more. Just get. Oh, there we go. So games like Geometry Dash kind of use this to their advantage. Right. So if you could do something where your player has like physics and stuff like that, let's go ahead and stop. If we don't want rotation to be applied, which is typical in a platformer, let's shrink down. You can collapse, transform, and sprite render for me, just so it's not blocking.
Absolutely, yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right, so in our rigid body 2D, there's a section called constraints that is hidden from us right now. Constraints.
There it is.
We can tell it freeze rotation.
Okay, yeah.
This will say don't let the physics engine modify the rotation. Don't let the physics engine modify the rotation.
Cool.
Okay. All right. Now we can platform. All right. So my question to you is, we can fall. We can fall. There's several things we could do next. I want to ask you, do you have anything specific you want to try to do next?
I think it would be a good idea to learn how to jump.
Let's jump. Okay. All right. So we have a player. Jumping's a little bit tricky, but we can do it. We can do it. Player movement controller. Do you think we should put our movement logic in our player movement controller?
Probably.
All right. I'm gonna tell you. Good guess. This is what look. That's what most people do. That's what most people do. We follow the principle of single. There's something called solid. Everything solid programming is single responsibility is what the S stands for in solid.
Okay.
So our player movement script is going to be responsible for movement, just movement.
Gotcha.
So we want to have another script that is responsible for our jump.
Yeah.
All right. So we have player movement controller, then we have a player jump controller. Let us create a new script. So remember how to make a script? So you're adding a script, but we want to make a new one. You got to right click somewhere in our scripts folder. Right click in our scripts folder.
Create C# script.
And what do you think we should call? So the other one's player movement controller. What do you think we'll call this?
Player jump controller.
Beautiful. Farron's a learning machine, people.
Boop.
Farron's from the future. Came back. Learn machine sent back in time. The Farronator. I'm trying to get my hat. There we go. Perfect. Right. Let's open this bad boy up.
Ooh. How do I get it?
Should be able to double click it. Should be able to double click it.
Cool. There we go.
There we go. I think you double clicked the other one on accident or something.
Gotcha.
Okay. Player jump controller. All right.
Get rid of that.
I mean, we could leave it in there if we want, but we don't need it. We don't need it. All right. So there's several things with jumping that we're gonna kind of have to do. We need to be able to read if the player has pressed a button.
Right.
So we need to sort of check, has the player pressed a button? So there's some axes we need to look at here. So how do you want the player to jump? You want to press like the up button? You want to press space? Space. Okay, yeah. So let's figure out how to do that. Let's go back to, we need to look at our input controls. We need to say, what is the space button called in our input? So let's go to I think it's under edit. On Mac, it's different. So I'm always confused. So go to the edit menu. Go down to project settings. I believe it's sort of down at the bottom, like 5th from the bottom, I think.
Okay.
And then we're gonna go to search for in the search box, search for input. It's called input. There we go. Input manager. And then we have this thing called axes. If you expand that, this is where the horizontal came from. Notice there is a jump axis by default. So let's go to jump. That one, that's interesting. There's another one above that. That's super weird. That
there is.
So it's attached to the space button, which is awesome. Scroll down. Nice. What is the other one attached to?
It's a joystick.
Joystick. Button. Okay. So cool. So it's attached to space. It's exactly what we want. We don't have to modify this. Dram. It's true. It is the captain. How you doing, Dram? All right. So let's go ahead and close the input manager. We need to get the jump axis. We need to get the jump axis. So let's go to our jump controller. So we have an axis called jump. Let's go to our player movement controller. So sorry, I'm saying having to do multiple things. You can actually put them side by side if you want to. If you just drag it, you just drag it there.
Nice.
You kind of have them side by side. Your font, because of streaming, makes it a little bit harder, but this could be a useful thing to do.
Okay.
Let's look at how did we get the user input for the horizontal axis, and how can we use that to inform how we are going to use the jump axis. Yeah, so I want you to see, try and decipher. So you're going to end up writing a line that's almost identical to line 12 here.
Identical? Okay.
Yeah, so it might even work out to just copy that line to start and then adjust it.
Okay.
And then maybe make it so that player jump controller takes up the whole screen, maybe. Sorry, I think I led you astray a little bit.
You're good.
Yeah. Your screen's just too small. If you drag it in the tab right there, just right next to, you can actually just close player movement controller, or just drag it next to it. Yeah, should get it back. Oh. That works too.
Okay.
I'm gonna recommend just closing player movement controller.
Yeah.
You'll be able to reopen it anyway.
There we go.
There we go. All right. So instead of horizontal axis, which axis was it? What was the name? It was
vertical.
Starts with a J.
Oh, J.
Vertical will be
the
W
jump
and
axis.
S. Yeah, jump axis. And there we go. It's very, very particular. Yeah. Very, very particular about those caps. All right, so we have the jump axis. How do we figure out what value this is? How did we do it before? How did we debug if this was working? You might have to open up the player movement controller again. Okay. So, how did we get the values to show up in our inspector?
Oh, goodness. We made a public float?
Yeah, we made a public float, and then we made a public vector 3. So let's add those into our jump controller. Maybe not. Let's add these, and then we'll rename them.
Okay.
These are called fields. These are when you see these are usually called fields or member variables.
Okay.
All right. Instead of speed, what would you think we want to call for jump?
Height.
Height's a good one. I usually call it jump power.
Okay.
But height is not bad too. I usually call it jump power. So it's like how much power do we exert when we jump, essentially is what I usually call it.
All right.
You're gonna find 0.2 is not enough. But that's okay. We can leave it there for now. It's probably gonna end up being like 50.
Oh goodness.
Because you have to fight gravity. You have to fight gravity. So it ends up being...
Right. Thank you for the hydrate.
Oh, I'll hydrate too. I'm almost out of water. All right. Patty Wax, knickknacks. How you doing? Did you get Patty Wax, the real Patty Wax? The real Patty Wax. That used to be their username. Okay. Let's look at their player movement controller and try and mimic what we're doing there a little bit. So
Right.
on line 13, this is really people. I think this is where a lot of people get stuck when they're first starting out, saying like, well, shouldn't I just know these things? And the answer is no.
No.
You shouldn't just know these things. You're gonna have to go look at what you did or look at what someone else did probably 10, 20 times before it's actually in there.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so let's do line 13.
All right.
Line 13.
Ooh.
Okay. Add that in here. Just so that we can sort of see it here. And we have an error here. What is the error telling us?
Speed doesn't exist because it's jump power.
Yeah, it's jump power. Okay. Patty-Wax will fight gravity to the death. I want flying powers. I'm not afraid to make planetary formation impossible to make it happen. Nice to see you, friend.
Welcome in,
I hope
Patty.
you've been well. Okay. So, let's go into Unity. Do you think, I mean, you probably don't. You're probably like, oh, this code's probably not right.
Yeah.
Or do you feel like this code is perfect?
No, this is probably not
This code
it.
is definitely not right. Okay. And then that's also for the player movement code. Let's copy like the position. Let's adjust the position. Let's go ahead and copy that line in as well. So let's copy that line in as well. Congratulations on the new job, Patty-Wax. I hope you're enjoying it. All right, Farron, one more thing. This just drives me crazy.
The format.
You notice that the formatting. Yeah, how do we fix that?
Oh, I know you told me.
Try Control
Format
Shift. Command
document?
palette. That works too. Yeah.
Nice.
Beautiful. I'm like, I get crazy about that. I'm like, I think I don't know how to do it. I think there's a way you can make it every time you press save, it will automatically do it. But that drives, I don't like that because there are certain things I format differently than the default.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
Yeah. Your Spectre the Boo Kitty doesn't have
I know.
Yeah, we're gonna have to gift a sub here.
Oh my goodness, thank you. I
There
saw
we
them
go.
pop up and I was like, the emotes again.
Hang on, there we go.
Thank
There we
you.
go. All right. Okay. Okay.
All right.
Let's test it, and you're gonna be really sad, but then we can sort of logic our way through it.
Absolutely.
All right. So we have. So if we select our player, go ahead and select our player. Okay. Space is our jump axis, right?
Yes.
All right. So to debug it, we need to look at what controller. What is the script that we added? What did the script that we add? What is the name of the script that we should be looking at to see our debug information?
Oh goodness, the player jump controller?
Yeah, so why isn't we don't have it in there? So yeah, we gotta add it in. Nathan, pizza lover. Nathan, I had some Alfredo pizza this week, and I thought of you.
And
All right, let's try.
thought of you.
Is space doing anything?
No, nothing.
Click into the game window and press space. I'm surprised it's not doing anything.
Oh,
there it goes.
okay.
You see that X?
Oh.
That X value. You see us, and look at your player go. Look at your player go. Is that the direction we want space to move us?
No.
No. So let's go ahead and stop. What position in our vector? Which one do we want to adjust?
The Y.
The Y. Yeah. Not Y question mark. Y the axis.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna leave it to you. I'm gonna give you an opportunity. Give me an opportunity here to do it.
Oop.
Okay. All right.
I think that should fix it.
Okay, let's try it. Let's see. Let's see what happens. A lot of confidence in that voice.
Tons.
What happened to our player jump controller?
Oh, because I didn't save it.
Because you were in play mode. It's because you were in play mode.
Because I was in play mode, yeah.
So it resets it, yeah. All right, so our Y, you'll notice our Y velocity is increasing.
But it's so tight.
But gravity is so strong. So let's adjust that jump power number.
Yeah.
Adjust that jump power.
Let's do.
All right.
You said like 50, right?
50 might be too much, but let's try 50.
Let's try. Let's see.
Ariella Studies is here too.
Ah, Ariella, hello. How you doing?
How was your trip? You went to Japan, didn't you, Ariella?
Oh my gosh, really? What a trip!
Yeah,
That's
I haven't
wild.
seen you stream in a while. 50 was too much.
It was
It's been
gone.
84 years. Are you from the future, Ariella?
Oh
All right,
my
so
goodness.
we can play with that number here, though, right? We can play with that number
Oh,
in
yeah,
play
yeah.
mode, so we don't, because when you hit play, it takes like
It takes a few seconds.
a lifetime. It takes like
Yeah.
84 years to
Way
to
too
run.
long. Way too long. Well, 50 was ridiculous, so okay.
All right, but is that how jump works in like most games?
No.
Right, you're right. So like, it's more of like a fly.
Exactly.
It's more of like
yeah.
it's more of a fly. You press it and it turns it on. There we go. Beautiful. Game's done. Ship it. Let's get it out.
We got it.
Farron, yeah. Look, this is what Farron's like. All right. Well, we'll just make it a ghost. We'll just make it a ghost.
Exactly.
We'll have it be a floating
It'll be
game.
Spectre. It'll be great.
Spectre, yeah. Okay. So there's a couple things here. What is happening, right? So when you hit the space button,
You're just going up.
it just, yeah. So it's like every frame, it is
Yeah.
adjusting your position upward. It just like ignores gravity.
Right.
When we hit space, instead, we want to sort of apply. We want to say, okay, we're gonna give us a jump. We're just gonna shoot ourselves up in that one frame.
Right.
In that one frame, we want to shoot ourselves up.
Yeah.
So we got to do something slightly different. So let's go ahead and stop the pause. Gonna stop the pause here. Let's go back to our code. And we want to actually see if the button was pressed. So rather than just getting the axis here, let me come in here. So this, every frame we read this axis in, we actually want to do input dot get, let's see, I think get
input.
get button down. All right, so get button down. I'm not sure if jump is set up as the correct thing, but let's hover over this get button down method. It returns true during the frame the user pressed the down button.
Okay.
Right, so it will return true once only during that
Right.
frame. Axis is more of, you usually use axis more as like an analog stick. That's why it's called axis. It's on like a stick usually. So we actually want to get the button down. I'm not sure if this will actually work here. And we want to say if, remember, we've written a couple ifs and it's saying if in this frame this button was pressed, we do this thing.
Gotcha.
Okay. And in this case, we don't want user input because it's not based on the user input anymore. Does that make sense?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. And I'm gonna get rid of this here. Okay. So if the button was pressed, we're gonna increase our position by some amount. And let's get
Right.
rid of this delta time as well. Okay. Let's try it. I don't know that
Let's try.
get button down will actually work for us here. the Wolverine flying. We got a bunch of amazing. Yeah. So, so what happened here, right? So in one frame, let's look at our transform real quick. Let's look at our transform. So open up transform here, and then press your jump key. Watch the Y. It just sets our Y to be 50 higher. So we don't actually jump up. We just immediately set ourselves. So let's set our jump power to like 5, and you'll see it's a little bit easier to see here. When we press jump, it just teleports us.
Gotcha.
It just teleports us rather than moving us. What we really want to do is we want to say, hey, I want my velocity to actually be up. I don't want to just set my position. I want to set my velocity to go up.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
That does make sense, yeah.
This is where the rigid body comes in really useful. All right, so let's go ahead and stop. We'll stop this here. We need to, let's go back to our code. We're gonna learn some new stuff here. We need to say, I want to access the rigid body. The rigid body controls the physics, and I want the velocity of my rigid body to the Y to get set. All right. So I can get the rigid body. It's a component. I can use get component like this, rigid body 2D. This is going to get my rigid body that's on my game object, rigid body.2D. And so I usually do something like this, rigid body 2D, rigid body like this. Oh, it bothers me that, this might just be me, it bothers me that rigid body doesn't follow Pascal case here. Always drives me crazy. All right, so our rigid body now, we can do the following. Rigid body dot velocity. I don't think we can actually set the Y. Can we do that? Velocity here. So we can do this. Velocity equals a new vector 3. We're going to set it to our old rigid body dot velocity plus, this is our XYZ X, jump power, and Z. Doesn't like that. What is velocity? Oh, it's two dimensions, a vector 2. Okay. Does this line make sense? You can say no.
To a degree. So it's gonna take like our current velocity and then add the jump power to it. Is that what
the jump power to it? So this would be like if we just set it to be our jump power, we wouldn't be able to move left and right. It would like stop us from moving left and right. So if we have an X velocity going already, we basically want to add this velocity. And there's some things that we're gonna do here. This is just a start, and I'm trying to teach you lots of little tiny things here. Right, so let's try. Does this make sense though? So it takes whatever our previous velocity is and sets it to this.
Right.
So we're not just going to teleport. Instead, the physics engine is going to say, oh, on the next frame, now my velocity is higher, so I should apply that velocity, and then gravity will fight us down.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So let's try. Let's
do.
Ariella got auto-modded. Poor Ariella.
Oh. I didn't even see the auto mod pop up. Tried to make a
What if my body is soft and squishy? Ariella, it's true. Unity it only has rigid bodies. It's a little bit discriminating against us soft body folks. All right, so you'll notice, look at your Y. It's continuing. You're about to come down though.
I am.
50's too high.
50 is way too high. Ooh, tiny little jumps.
Okay.
There we go.
And it's sort of lofty, right? It's sort of like this lofty jump.
Yeah.
So what's interesting about this is the default physics engine is trying to emulate real world physics.
Oh, okay.
So so like gravity is set to 9.8, which is like Earth's gravity.
Right.
We are applying a velocity of 10 units per second. Right, 10 units. Right. The height of our square is 1 unit by default. So our player is 1 unit tall. Here's a crazy thing. So you're saying I'm gonna apply enough force to jump 10 units high. So a human, like in reality, wouldn't be able to jump that high.
Right.
So in reality, your jump power would be like 1.
Right.
Like let's set it to 1. Let's set it to 1, and it'll be like more like what you as a human being could actually jump. Set it to 1. Like 1 might be a little bit too small. Let's try 2. That's about as high as I can jump, but like that's more like a real.
Yeah.
So like it's trying to do like real world physics. When you play a platformer though, like Mario defies the universe.
Right.
So let me ask you a question. Do you want your game to be lofty, or do you want to be more of like tight gravity?
I think more lofty.
Okay, you like the loftiness. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, jump power, set it to what you want. We'll leave it in lofty. I was gonna show you how to adjust the gravity, but that's okay. We'll do that later. All right. We got a jumpy jump percent. What happens if you? So here's something that you didn't consider. You have a weird bug in your code.
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
What is?
In most platformers, are you able to just keep jumping?
Oh, I didn't even notice I could just keep jumping.
Yeah. This is the thing my students go, wait, oh, you have to program for that? Yeah, because your code, you should only be able to jump if you're on the ground.
Yeah.
Right? So this is why I'm saying jumping is a little bit tricky. Jumping's a little tricky because there's some more things we gotta do. Some more things we gotta do. But we're close. We can go ahead and stop here. Let's stop this here. How close are we to like an ad break? I kind of want to take a quick break myself.
Oh yeah, we could absolutely take a little break.
Okay. I just want, if we're not close to an ad break, we can wait a little longer. I'm happy to wait. I think waiting for an ad break might be the best.
I think an ad break is only once an hour, so it'd be like another 30 minutes.
Let's go 30 more minutes. How does that feel?
Okay.
30 more minutes.
Absolutely.
All right, cool. Also, anyway, I didn't normally we like set up how much time we're gonna do this, but I'm having so much fun. Whenever you're ready to stop, let me know.
Okay.
All right, cool. Okay. All right. Anyway, Ariel says you can change direction in midair. It's true, I can do that. My students are always surprised when I play basketball with them, and I defy gravity. I just jump in midair, and it's crazy. And it's because I'm a programmer. I'm a programmer. I program my own physics. Okay. We need to be able to detect if the player is on the ground. So let's go to our player jump controller. And let's add in a variable up here. We're going to add in a variable. I want you to add in, oops, I broke everything. We're going to add in a variable here that is going to be a Boolean, a bool that is on ground.
Okay.
So it's going to be a public bool is on ground, and then semicolon.
Is this gonna be Pascal?
Bool is lowercase, so it's so like on the above we have public float jump power. This one's gonna be public bool space is on ground.
Gotcha.
And it will be Pascal case because it's public. Who has the brain cell today? We're sharing one. We're sharing one. Oh, you have a thing on your channel, right? Brain cells. We're all sharing.
We're all sharing, really. And then a semicolon.
Semicolon. Okay.
Okay, nothing was doing anything for a second. There we go.
All right, so we have a semicolon. So is on ground. What I'm gonna do now down here is we're gonna pretend. Have you seen this before? I don't know if we've seen the double ampersand.
No, I haven't.
So what we're gonna say is on ground. We're gonna say if they press jump and is on ground, then we're gonna do this. If they press jump and is on ground, we're gonna do this. So let's save. We can test this. There's some testing we can do. Let's go back to our Unity land. Let's press play. And let's look at our player. If you try and jump, like press space.
The jump
not
power
gonna
keeps
work.
changing to 50.
You're editing it in play mode.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
We can't jump. Look over in player jump control. Is on ground is not checked.
Oh.
So let's check it. Now we can jump.
Okay.
But it doesn't turn off.
Yeah.
So we need to do
Turn
a
it
thing
off
where
and
is on
on.
ground is based on whether or not we're actually on the ground.
Right.
Whether or not we're actually on the ground. So we're going to use something called array cast.
Okay.
We're going to do something called ray casting. There's a couple ways we could do this. Ray casting basically says we're going to draw a line from our player down and see if we hit a platform. If we hit a platform, we're going to set is on ground to true. If we don't hit a platform, we're going to set it to false.
Okay.
All right, so let's go ahead and exit play mode. Let's come to our update method in player jump. And we're gonna do array cast. This is where things get a little tricky. This is why you're saying you want to do jump. It's kind of amazing how tricky jump can be.
Right. So many factors.
Physics. We want to do array cast here. So we're gonna do array cast. This takes in a couple. Let me see here. Which one do we want to do? It has 8 different options. I'm trying to decide which one we really want to do. Okay. We are gonna do. We'll do this one. We'll do this one. Okay, so it's gonna say origin. This is where we're starting. Direction is the direction we want to check, and then distance. So these are the variables that we need to be able to do array cast. And this is going to return a thing called array cast hit to be hit. All right, so the hit will have I know it's a lot going on here. There's a lot of things. This tells us whether this variable is going to tell us whether or not we've hit something. Actually, we'll start in about 3 minutes. Okay, good to know. Good to know. So we need an origin. Origin is going to be the center of our object. So
okay.
Game. We can actually do transform.position. This says where we are.
Right.
Right. Where our player is. The direction is down.
Yeah.
The direction is down. So we can actually do vector 2.down. Down. So downward. And then the distance we want to check is sort of a trickier part. We want to figure out how far. So our player size can kind of change sometime, but basically we know our player is of size 1 right now. The center would be in the middle. So 0.5 would be all the way to the edge. And then we want like a little bit more. So we can cheat a little bit and say like something like 0.6 here. 0.6.
Okay.
And then I'm going to do a debug.log hit. So this will tell us information on whether or not we hit something. And is on ground is going to be equal to hit dot. I'm looking in here. We want to see whether or not we've collided with something. Collider. Hang on, I gotta make sure I get this right. Collider. The collider hit by the ray.
Getting bigger brain by the minute.
Collider. All right, hang on. Well, let's just look at this hit information real quick. Let's look at that. Let's run it.
Yeah.
We're gonna look at how to debug this information, and it's gonna tell us. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be hitting itself right now. Let's hit run. And we're going to start getting a bunch of information in our console. So if we click over to console, in the bottom, so in your assets window, so over on the left, middle, bottom, lower.
Okay.
So there's a little tab that says console sort of above this and to the left. This is saying our raycast hit, and it's telling us what object we're hitting.
Oh.
Over on the right side, you see where it says like 999 plus? In the console, at the top of the console.
Oh, yeah.
click that, that'll collapse it. So if it's a repeated message, try clicking it again. Over on the left, you see where it says collapse, actually.
Oh, okay, I see.
It's saying this message keeps coming. And now it is kind of important to hit pause. Let's hit the pause button here. Exit's fine too, but we want to still like be in play mode and examine stuff.
Okay, yeah.
So pause stops the play mode from running, but doesn't exit the game. You'll notice that number not's going up. Let's go ahead and click on that debug statement down there in the console. And down at the very, very bottom, it kind of gives us a little bit more information. I don't think it's giving us much though. All right, ads are running. I'm gonna get water real quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think I'm gonna run for. All right, I'm gonna get water. I'm gonna get tea. I'll be back in 3 minutes.
Yeah. Whoop whoop. Okay. How's everybody doing? Thank you so much, Wawa, for the follow. So sorry. If you would like your name pronounced differently, please let me know. Oh, you tried to make a code joke and it got you. I see what it did now. It thought it was a link. So silly. I'm doing super good, snackers. Thank you for asking. Big chillin' today. Big chillin'. I have honestly been so sleepy lately. I don't know why. What are we all up to right now? Is anyone working on any crochet projects or anything fun? Oh, did Batty Pats work earlier, Bran? I wonder if it's the cozy fall vibes, because I am also so sleepy. Honestly, I think that's what it is. It's just been all the cozy vibes. No, it didn't? Okay. I wonder if it has something to do with this page in specific. Oh, you know what it is? I'm pretty sure I just don't have it, like any of the Mix It Up stuff on this page. There we go. I was thinking about calling in tomorrow and chilling and sleeping. Oh, really? Look, I support snackers. I support that idea. Everyone needs some naps. I think collectively, all of us should just call out and take a nap. Can you guys see Moose? Yeah, you can. Little Moosh. The Poonie. Hi. Sleepy girl. Yeah, sleepy girl. Oh, you're working on the purple version of the sloth? How many different versions are you making? That's so exciting. All the babies. All the babies. I keep looking at Moose. She's such a little angel. I'm glad she's hanging out in here. Last stream, she wouldn't chill in here at all. She was like, nope, I'm out. That and just do whatever I want. Honestly, that is 10 out of 10 snackers. Just big naps, big relax, do whatever you want. Oh, you want to save your hours though? That is the ultimate struggle. Trying to like save up for a larger vacation. Thank you, close to spectacular. Thank you so much. I made it myself. I need to plan out my projects so that I can actually remember to work on them. Same. I've been trying to work on that mushroom hat for so long now, and it's still just sitting over there. I had to get on it today. Trinky, hello, how's it going? I wish I could call it to work tomorrow, but I have to do a big last push for hours before the end of the month, especially since I'm leaving early Tuesday to get chibi. Oh my gosh, for the trick-or-treating. That is gonna be so exciting. This is gonna be like the first year in a really long time that we're actually gonna have trick-or-treaters, which is just so exciting to me. The last place that we lived at, there were like tons of trick-or-treaters like down the road, but for some reason they would never come down to our side of the road. So I am just super, super excited. We have got tons of candy in preparation, and we're gonna sit outside. Oh, and see all the costumes. Thank you for the stretch, Patty Wax. Oh, I needed that. I can also take a half day. Oh, and take the afternoon off. That sounds like a good idea. Bat facts. Many people think bats are blind, but bats can see fine. But most species use echolocation for hunting and navigation. Bats are cool, if you guys didn't know. Bats are the best. You know, snackers, if you're really looking for some naps, I would maybe take a little half day. I love Halloween, but November 1st is definitely my favorite holiday. Candy goes on sale and Christmas music starts playing. Win-win. I love that. Honestly, the candy sales after Halloween, just so good. So good. A half day was my plan if I can for Halloween, but I don't know if I can because so many took that day off. Oh, boo. Boo. That sucks. I realized my favorite drink that I thought didn't make me sick makes me sick. Oh no! I'm so sorry, Trinky. That is terrible. Oh, the biggest sad. The biggest sad. I hope you start to feel better. I'm sorry you couldn't get some good sleep. We would trick or treat closer to home, but my fiance has to stay in the office all day. And by the time he'd get home, people would be running out of candy. Oh yeah, and it would be just getting colder and darker. That's so fair. That's so fair. Gotta do what you gotta do. I guess you could say I think it's the most wonderful time of the year. I love that. I personally am not looking super forward to all the Christmas music. I'm not like a huge like Christmas music hater. It just starts so early and then it feels like it doesn't end. But I'm excited. I'm excited for the holiday in general. Mainly because of the niece, just all the little Christmas excitements from the kiddo. Yes, all the excite. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I've been up to lately that's like super exciting. I don't think so. We will be back Wednesday for co-working, so that'll be nice. Cappy. Oh, I think you're muted.
Back.
There you are. Heck yeah.
All right, gotta move my oh, I can adjust my camera. Hang on, move my desk up, but I should have. There we go. Steady. It's on a delay. I should watch my camera. Hang on, I can look at my camera while I do it. Yeah. All right, perfect. Perfect. All right, hang on. Actually, I need to get stand in there. I got an under the desk treadmill. It's awesome.
Oh, what? That's awesome.
I've been burning so many passive calories just walking all day. It's crazy.
I love it.
Hi, Dusty. My dog's really sad. My partner's about to go to gymnastics.
Aww.
And he's gonna be really rowdy. He's gonna be like, "Come on, Dad, something terrible has happened."
They're leaving.
Exactly. Poor guy. Okay, I'm ready to hop back in. If you are, it sounded like people are having a good time chatting.
Yeah, catching up.
Okay. Hi, Trinky. Okay. Jump power is on. Oh yeah, so we're gonna do a ray cast to try and figure out, and I can never quite remember all the details to this. We need our ray cast to tell us whether or not we've actually hit something.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure our raycast is going to tell us raycast.collider. Okay, so I've written some crazy code. You didn't see me write it, but I just wrote some new code in here. And it's going to tell us the name. Let's run this again. Or you got to exit the pause, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to have to run this again. And it should tell us now the name of the thing it's colliding with. And I think it's going to keep saying, hey, I'm colliding with the player. I'm pretty sure it's going to tell us I'm colliding with the player. Did you exit play mode first?
Oh,
no. Try again? Yeah, so I changed
There
the
we
code.
go.
We had to. I think we have to exit and then run it again.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So our raycast is saying, "Hey, I'm hitting the player object. I'm hitting the player's collider." And this is because if we were to draw a line from the center of our square down, what's the first thing it's gonna hit?
The collider.
The player. It's gonna hit the player's collider. Yeah, so it's the collider that's on the player. We want to be able to ignore that. We want to be able to ignore that. So we have to create what's called a layer. So let's hit play. Let's hit play again. We want to only, we need to say, okay, the player and the platforms are on different layers. And we want to basically say only see the platform layers, ignore the player layer. So in the top right of Unity Inspector, the code is doing a bonk, it's true. See the word, it says layers? In the very top right, above the inspector. Above the inspector, even higher.
Oh,
even higher.
I see.
That'll actually work too. We're gonna go to edit layers.
Okay.
Okay, and we're gonna expand where it says layers there. And we're gonna create a layer on layer 5. Let's add in a player and then a platforms layer. So we're in the little spot next to it. We can type in some words here. So user layer 5, I think is what it says there, 6. I'm not sure.
User layer
it's a little bit fuzzy because I don't have it won't let me go full screen on your video.
Right.
There you should be able to, let's create a player. Capital P just because I'm crazy. Lowercase p is fine, but we're trying to follow conventions, right? And then layer 7, we're gonna create one called platform. All right, so we have a player layer, we have a platform layer. Let's go to our squares. Let's go to our squares in the hierarchy. And let's put these, so now that drop down that said default, now we want to say, oh, put this on the platform layer. Same with the other square. And then our player layer, we want to set this to player.
Nice.
Okay. So now in our code, I believe, let's see here, layer mask, layers. There's going to be a spot where we have to specify what layers we want to interact with. Okay, and it's kind of, we do this thing, layer mask dot name to layer. The layer that we're interested in is platforms. Okay, and then this gives us back a layer mask. So layer mask, layer. We should be able to put this here. Okay, so now it should only detect platforms. It should only detect platforms. So let's run it and check it out. So now what is it? It says null.
Yeah.
That's not what we want. That is not what we want, which is interesting. I think our 0.6 might not be big enough.
Okay.
Yeah, might need to make it bigger. Our 0.6 might not be big enough. We're gonna add in a variable up here. Public float distance delta. And so that this way we can play around with it in the inspector. We'll change this to distance delta. The other option is maybe our layers is incorrect. There's like a couple different things here. We could also do this. Layer public, hang on, public. Someone played Doi. I don't know if I heard it. Someone on my chat. So on my, if you're over on Captain Coder's chat, you can type things in. Who did that? I gotta see who. Thank you for the Doi. Probably Dramels.
Lance.
It was Lance, yeah. If you, on my chat, someone played the Doi. People probably saw it pop up on the screen for a second. Layer, layer, mask, layer. Thanks again for the Doi. Okay, we'll do layer here. Let's go back to Unity. And I believe now in the jump controller, there's going to be, you see where it says layer in the jump controller? We can actually select the layer. Let's go and select the platforms layer there.
Okay.
Let's hit play and hope we get this. All right, so now it says square. Now it says square. I think there was, yeah. So now when we're on a, now go fall off and land on the other square. Now it's telling us which square we are on.
Square. Okay.
Null is what it says when we're not on something.
Gotcha.
Okay. And so now in our code, let's go back to our code. Is on ground should be equal to hit collider is going, we have a couple of, hit collider will be null when we're not on the ground. And it will be null when we are, so is not null here. So I wrote this code on line 19. Is on ground, hit collider is not null.
Gotcha.
This is saying we're on the ground if hit collider is not null.
Right.
Does that make sense?
That does, yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. Let's go back in. And I think we have to stop the play and restart it. So notice now our is on ground is true right now over in the inspector. I'm moving my mouse, you can't see it. It is on, if you press jump, it turns on. There's like a little minor bug in here that if you time it just right, you can jump twice when you're on the ground. Because you have to be really fast though. Yeah. So this is basically based on our distance delta because of how big we are.
Cool. Okay.
All right. So now we have a jump that works. Let's review. Let's review here because I did an awful lot of coding for you here. So I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Let's review here, and then we're gonna delete the code and you're gonna rewrite it. So there's a little bit. This is how we get good at stuff. This is how we get better at things.
Okay. Go over to the code.
We're in our code. First off, let's look at each one of these variables, and we're gonna add a little so one of the line 7.
Okay.
We're gonna add in a little bit of documentation to, when I say documentation, add comments just so that we have some information about it. I didn't mean to do that. What does jump power represent?
Jump power represents how high up the Y axis we go, right?
Essentially. But in the code, let's go look at the code. How are we using jump power in our code in update? When we press jump, it's not how high we go. It is, and look at line 24. How are we using jump power here?
Unsure.
Okay, line 24, we're updating our rigid body's velocity.
Right.
By increasing it by our jump power.
Right.
So this is like, it's not how high we go, it's how much force we gain when we jump. So the amount of force applied when the player jumps.
Right.
All right, so I'm gonna add a little comment here. The amount of force applied when the player jumps. Does that seem reasonable?
Yeah.
Okay. What does is ground represent?
It represents if the player's on ground, if the raycast is hitting a collider.
So this is what I would write. True if the player is on a platform and false otherwise. Does that kind of make sense?
That makes sense.
Okay. What is distance delta?
Oh goodness.
Let's look at line 19.
19. The distance delta is definitely confusing to me.
Yeah, so let's hover over raycast real quick. If you hover over the word raycast, it might help a little. Raycast, yeah. So these are the names of the variables that this method uses: origin,
Okay.
direction, distance, and layer mask. So it is distance.
Okay.
So it's some kind of distance, but what is
Right.
what are we measuring? What are we measuring with the distance? So it's part of our raycast. What is a raycast?
Isn't it a line?
Yeah, it's a line.
Down?
So we draw a line. We're drawing a line, array.
Right.
Array. So we say draw a line and check if this line intersects, if it collides with something.
Right.
So we don't actually want to draw an infinite line from this.
Right.
So we're starting
How
at the
long
center of
that
our
line
player. Yeah. So it's how long. I call it distance, delta. Delta is like a math term that is like, usually it's a small number that says what an increment is. It's how far we want to measure.
Okay.
Because if our distance delta is super high, if it's super big, it'll detect that we're on the ground when we're not.
Right.
So we want it to be just big enough to detect the ground. Just big enough to detect the ground. Is there a better variable name that... Oh, gotta stretch. Oh.
Stretch time.
Oh, I worked out this morning. Maybe I should stretch differently. That was intense. That armpit stretch got me. Blueberry, nice to see you. Also, I think I saw Quentin here. Nice to have you back, Quentin.
Welcome in. Welcome in. And a hydrate
So
from Ethan.
the distance delta in that case, what would you what would be a better variable name for you to help you remember what that means?
I'm unsure.
So describe, what is the variable doing again? So we just talked about it. Parent it back.
Right. It measures how far the ray goes.
Yeah, measures how far to check for the ground, right?
Yes.
So maybe instead of distance delta, what about ground check distance?
Okay, yeah.
Does that variable name feel better?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. Distance delta makes sense to me, but I'm a big giant math nerd. Right? So ground check distance might be a little bit better. So hopefully that'll help you remember. This layer mask, what is layer mask doing?
It's deciding what layer of objects it's looking for.
Yeah, which
layer
which layer should we check for ground collisions?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You think the name layer is a terrible name? I kind of think it is.
Yeah?
What would be a better name for layer? Because right now layer is like, but really it's checking which ground. You know. So what would be a better name for this?
Which
Naming is hard.
Naming is hard.
I always tell people naming. I find naming to be like the hardest part of programming. What if we called it ground layer?
Okay.
Layer was just like not descriptive enough,
right?
In my mind. So ground layer is like much more descriptive.
Right.
Yeah. Blueberry wants to know, what are we programming? We're working. Farron is making a platform. We're learning how to make a platformer in Unity. Okay. And then this vector 3 velocity. What is this doing? Notice it says 0 references right above it.
0 references.
That means we're not using it anymore.
Oh. Bye-bye.
So we just get rid of it. Get rid of it. Okay. So these are the variables we need to do things. We are going to, you're going to be rewriting this code here in a moment.
Okay.
Be rewriting this code here in a moment. So we're going to write some comments here and say, what does this code do? What is this code doing? All right, so check if we are on the ground by ray casting downward from the center of the player, then we'll say is ground to true if we hit something and false otherwise. Does that make sense? That's
Yes.
and then this debug is just like extra information. So that's what these two lines are doing. First, we check, did we hit something? Then we set it to is not null.
Okay.
So we're gonna do these two things. Are you feeling brave? You feeling brave?
A little bit.
All right. Is on ground equals false. Okay. Is on. Okay. So now here, we're gonna start off. You're gonna type it out. It's gonna be physics 2D dot capital P physics 2D dot.
2D dot.
We're gonna do raycast. Okay, we're gonna raycast. All right, open parenthesis. And it takes in. I thought it would give you some autocomplete here. Let me go get this information for you real quick. Hang on. The method version we're using looks like this. So this is like the definition of the method. So we need to set the first argument that you're going to pass in is the origin, the direction, the distance, and then the layer mask.
Okay.
So where are we raycasting from? What position are we raycasting from? Where do we want to start our raycast?
The middle of the player.
The middle of the player, yeah. So how do we get the center of the player?
Ooh. It wouldn't just be player.
It wouldn't just be player. It's going to be the position of the player. So how do we get the player's position?
That is a good question.
Let's go to player movement. Let's take a look.
Okay.
So in this one, we modify the player's position. On line
Right.
15, we're modifying the player's position.
We are.
So line 15.
Transform position.
Yeah.
So just transform position?
Transform dot position, yeah. So transform will access the transform that's on this game object. Position tells us where it is. So it's saying wherever this thing is, that's where we want the origin to be. All right. And then the next argument, so comma.
Direction.
The next argument is direction. So which direction do we want to go?
Down.
Yeah. So in this case, we do vector 2 dots down because we have to give it a vector.
2 dot down.
And if we were raycasting, like see if we were on a wall or something, we might do vector 2 dot left or right.
Okay, that makes sense.
Or if we're checking if something was above us, we do vector dot up. So vector dot down. All right. The next argument is how far do we need to check?
Our jump power. Oh, right. No.
Power.
Our ground check distance.
Ground check distance, yes. So
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So we've created a variable to say this is how far I want to check. And then finally we want to say, well, what are the last argument is what are the things we want to check for collision?
The layer, the platforms on the layer.
Yeah, so which variable keeps track of those layers?
Ground layer?
Ground
or
layer,
layer mask?
Yeah.
Ground layer.
Ground layer. Ground layer is a layer mask.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay.
And then we'll put a semicolon at the end of that. Okay. So now raycast hit, this variable hit, if you go over to the left on line 22, we now have a variable that contains all of the information after checking if we've hit something.
Right.
And we're going to use that to tell us here. So we can do hit dot. So where it says false here, we're going to replace it with hit dot.
Hit dot.
And collider is going to tell us if we've hit something. So collider is going to be a value if we've hit something. It's going to be null if we have not hit something.
Gotcha.
So this is where like some trickiness comes in here. So the syntax here is important. We're going to say, so if I did is null, this would mean that we're not on the ground.
Right, so it'd be is not null.
Yeah, so I want you to add the word not, is space not null. There we go.
Okay.
So that is the code. So now when we press jump, we have this is on ground. How do we test it? Let's make sure it works still.
Boop. Oh.
Can we jump?
No.
Oh, interesting. Is on ground. Oh, you know why?
Why?
Look in the inspector. Look in the inspector.
Oh.
It's because we changed the name of some variables.
Oh, we did. We changed the ground check.
Yeah, that one's okay, but ground layer.
Oh, isn't okay.
Yeah, so we weren't checking for platforms. Okay.
Gotcha. Let me exit and do that.
Nice, you're learning. Learning. Ferryns a learning machine, everybody.
Welcome back, Nick. With some brand new mistakes under your belt. Oh no.
Look. Mistakes are the way we learn.
Exactly. You gotta make
Takes the average
mistakes.
person 10 mistakes before they learn not to do that thing.
That's wild.
As long as, you know, it depends on the mistake. As long as it's not too... All right. Can we double jump?
No.
Awesome. Okay. All right. What do we want to do next? We got this.
Goodness.
We got this.
We got this.
Or do you want to call it? Do you want to call it here? For now.
Yeah, let's call it for now. That way
Okay,
I can
a lot of
review
progress.
all of this.
So yeah, review all of it. Next time, probably the best thing to do is be like, all right, let's do it again.
Yeah, probably.
My students hate when I tell them that, like, let's do it again. But it is a great way to reinforce what you've learned, reinforce what you're learning.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we managed to make a little tiny platform. You can't win or lose.
Right.
I mean, if you fall off, you go into the abyss.
I was about to say, you technically can lose.
You can lose. Yeah, but we have a little tiny platformer here.
Yeah.
Where we can jump. We have some platform. We got 2 platforms. If you wanted to add some more platforms, you could. Wouldn't be that hard.
No, not hard at all.
Here, friend. Let's review. Can you add a platform? Can you add a new platform?
Yeah. Pretty easy peasy. Duplicate.
All right. Beautiful. And if you wanted to change the color of the platform. Oh, Nathan wants to do a double jump? Oh, double jump's easy. Double jump's easy.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, double jump's really easy. I mean, it's not as hard as the hardest part is getting the single jump. The hardest part is getting a single jump. But you have that, it's not too bad. If you click the box next to color, you can actually set the color this way instead of having to be like, well, I need a color to click on. There we go.
My first thought, I'm like, what is a color? Do it. Just any color,
Yeah.
pick it.
So Nathan, just a thought here. So for double jump, right now we have a check that says if we're on the ground, we need to be able to do a jump. If we want to do a double jump, we'll have a number that says the number of jumps we have And when you press jump, it reduces that number by 1. And then when you're on the ground, it resets the number. So you can have like jumps set to 2. When you do a jump, it reduces it to 1. When you do another jump, it reduces it to 0. And then your check says, if I have more than 0 jumps, then I can do a jump. Look at you go, Fern. Fern's building out a tricky level. Tricky. Can you get in, squeeze in there? Oh, you did it. You did it.
Ah!
Yeah, the next thing would probably be to make it so the camera follows you.
Oh yeah,
Which is pretty easy to do.
That.
Do you want to do? We could do that in 10 minutes.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, we're gonna add in a camera follower. Okay, so we need a new script. All right. So how do I make a new script? Yeah, so I would call this. So this script is a script that makes the camera follow the player.
Cool.
So what would you call it?
Camera follow player?
Camera player follower, something. Yeah.
Cool.
Camera so something follower. Along. It doesn't really matter. Camera.
Yeah.
Follower. Camera player. I can't actually say camera follower. Okay. Yeah. Let's open this thing up. We're actually gonna put this on our camera. So this doesn't go on the player. This goes on the camera.
Right.
The camera is gonna update. So we need a variable here. Let's add in a member variable at the top. So this is like our inside of the camera follower.
Right.
So like line 7. So let's get rid of start. We don't need start. Starts for losers. All right, and let's create a public variable here. This is gonna be a variable we can set public. It's gonna be a game object. Game object, and this is gonna be our player. So we'll name it player. Okay, so we have a game object player. Semicolon. In our update, this is going to be attached to our camera. So we need to do a transform.position. Transform.position. And what position do we want the camera? So this is going to center the camera. Transform.position on the camera will center the camera somewhere. So transform.position here is going to be equal to what position do we want the camera to be on? Every frame, we say like make sure the camera's on this position.
The player
As
center.
The player. Yeah, player center. How do we get the player center?
We did that earlier.
We did that earlier.
We did it over here. Oh goodness.
Line 21, I think. 22.
22.
So raycast
is it the position?
Player, yeah, that's position. Transform.position gets the game object here. All right, so transform.position in this context is going to be the camera's position. We really care about player's transform. So up above line 7, we have a variable called player. The player, this is the game object we're following. So player dot transform dot. So we're gonna get the player's transform, and then whatever position the player is, we're gonna put our camera there.
Okay. So position.
Nice. Exactly.
And then boop.
Okay. All right, let's go back to Unity. If we hit play, do you think it's just gonna work?
No.
Why not? Why not?
Because we haven't put the component on our camera.
Yes, we have to add it to our camera. They're learning. You learn quick. All right.
Yeah.
And notice where it says player, we have that thing in there where it says none. What do you think we have to put there?
Have to put our player in there.
Yeah, we gotta put our player in there. All right, let's try it.
Oh.
That was disappointing. I really thought that was gonna work. Go to scene. I actually thought that was gonna work. Go to scene. Click on your main camera. What? Oh, I know why. It's the Z. The Z is changing, so the camera is like moving its Z position to the player. So we have to. We're so close. We're gonna come back here. Go back to exit out of or stop play mode. What's happening is the camera is actually like. Notice right here on transform. We have the main camera. Our Z is set to -10. So go to transform position. Z is -10. Our camera is like zoomed out so it can see the player. When we set it to the player's Z position, now it's like, since this player is flat, we can't see it because we're in line with the player. So we can't actually do player transform.position in our code here. We need to get the player's X and Y, but the camera's Z.
Gotcha.
So let's do that. All right, so we need to create a vector 3 here. So on line 12, we're gonna do a new vector 3.
Just get rid of this.
Just let's save it because it's gonna be useful. Hang on, we'll do this. We'll do it. We need a new vector 3.
Okay.
New position. It's gonna be equal to. All right, and then go up to that line there. We need to create a vector 3. So we always can say new to create a vector space vector 3.
Vector 3.
And then we give it our X, Y, Z position. So open parenthesis. What is the X position that we want?
We want the player's X position.
Yeah. So how do we get the player's X position?
Would it be position dot player?
Close. So player dot transform dot position dot X. So we gotta touch all the member variables.
All of them.
Yeah. All right. So what about Y? So then we need a comma. We need to get Y. Which Y position do we want?
Y.
Yeah. And then finally, our Z position should be
the cameras.
Not the cameras. And so we're on a camera, so it's just transform dot.
Cool.
Position dot Z. All right, semicolon at the end.
Okay.
Almost semicolon after. Yeah. Okay. So now, really we want our position to be, this thing. So transform dot position is equal to X, Y, and Z. And some people like to do, it's a little bit long, so you could actually format it. Some people would format it this way.
Yeah.
Like that. So maybe a little bit easier to read. Right.
Let's try it.
I think we got it this time.
Nice.
All right.
Cool.
We done did it. You done did it.
Easy peasy.
Easy peasy, yeah. All right. So I guess maybe if you have some time, I'm gonna recommend you try and before next time. Let's see when will be our next one. I don't know. I think our next one might be like Thanksgiving weekend or something. So we might have to reschedule that.
Ooh, yeah.
It would be November 26th. So
okay.
Let's talk a little bit. I think we'll probably change that.
Yeah.
December 3rd will work for me. So
perfect.
Instead we could do 1 week or November 19th. So I can do the week before, the week after. But that weekend probably not so much. We don't have to decide right now either.
Okay. I think the 3rd will be good.
All right, cool. We'll do the 3rd.
Yeah.
Awesome. Very cool. All right, Farron. Nice.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
For coming by.
It's a little tricky.
Yeah, it's a little tricky, but it's not too bad once you start like piecing everything together.
it's all about making like little tiny manageable pieces. The movement was pretty easy. You also said you wanted to do jump. Maybe I should have stopped you from doing jump. Jump is a little bit tricky. Jump's a little bit tricky. Can I do a little bit of self-promotion?
Yes, I was just about to say, plug what you gotta plug.
Yeah. So folks, if you head on over, for anyone who doesn't know me, don't know, I am Captain Coder. Captain Coder is me, and me is a computer science educator. I teach computer science and programming. My full-time job is I work at a school ages 10 to 14. So I work at a school for ages 10 to 14. I teach programming classes. I teach a little bit of game. I'm pretty new to game design, but doing some game design, game development stuff, having a lot of fun with it. I also teach music, but on Twitch, I teach programming for the most part on Twitch. Tuesdays we do programming, like generic programming lessons on Twitch. Thursday we do game development lessons, or like little lessons online. Saturday, Sunday, sort of grab bag stuff. I'm making a game. I'm making a game called The Poorly Drawn Game.
It's incredible. You guys should go look at it.
And if you're interested in learning how to program, I'm gonna send a link here. I do have a Ko-fi where I sell lessons. So I sell lessons and courses. So the it's not your normal traditional course. A lot of times courses, it's not out of the box canned. What I do for you is I make like what I'm doing with Farron here. Farron said, I want to learn how to do a 2D platformer. I said, okay, well, I'm going to design a course just for you. And so the lessons for you, I'll do individual if you want, but I can do it for up to 6 people. If you need help finding some people to do a class with, let me know, and I will help coordinate. They don't have a website set up for coordinating it yet, but they're 8-week courses. So we meet once a week. For 60 to 90 minutes, usually closer to 90 minutes, if I'm completely honest. We do a little lesson, and then we do some ACE. You get a little bit of homework in between, but as a group, you guys build stuff. So examples are learning Unity, learning C#, learning web development, all kinds of fun stuff. So whatever you are interested in doing, I will make a custom class just for you. So be sure, if you're interested in that, feel free to hop over to the Ko-fi, and you can get a lesson. Also, I'm not saying you have to become a member, but members get a discount on the lessons. So if you're a member, get a discount.
It's kind of a no-brainer at that point. Nick Pie, thank you so much for the sub. Thank you. I just saw it come through.
Yeah, Farron, thank you so much for having me.
I
always have so much fun when I'm here.
Yeah. I always have a blast. I'm always like super excited by the time we leave to go look at everything again.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna turn into a pumpkin, I think.
Yes.
But thank you for having me, folks. I will see you around. I will be back on Tuesday. Farron, you doing your co-working streams again? I think you mentioned that.
Yeah. So we've been gone for about a month because I've been moving here and there, but pretty much the whole month of October I was out. Starting Wednesday, we're gonna get back into our regular schedule, which is Wednesday is always gonna be co-working days, and then Thursday, Sunday, and Monday are the other days I stream as well. And those are mixed. There'll be like crafting streams, gaming streams, all that stuff.
Awesome. I can't wait. I always come for the co-working streams when I can. Those are my favorite ones. For me, because I'm always productive during them.
Yeah.
The other streams are fun too, but the co-work, I try to be productive. The other streams maybe too distracting for Captain Coder.
I feel that so much though.
Yeah. Awesome.
Oh, thank you so much for being here. Yes.
Thanks for having me.
Wow.
And have a beautiful day.
You too, Cappy. You too. Have a great one.
Bye.
Bye. Let me switch us over to boop. My chat page. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we have a few things we must do. Thank you for being here, Cappy, of course. Oh, Ruth, thank you so much for that sub. 7 months. Wow. That's crazy. It's crazy how fast time flies when you meet somebody. It's wild. Oh, you stayed up too late. Oh, you got a new gaming PC? Wait, that's amazing. I'm so happy for you. Congratulations. I hope you've been enjoying the heck out of that. That's amazing. Oh my goodness. We have one thing to take care of before we leave. The last stream we were here, you guys earned a giveaway. So let me get all that stuff set up so you can see what you guys earned, and we can go ahead and raffle that off real quick before we leave. Just give me 1 second. Here we go. It can actually handle your homework stuff too. Wait, that's amazing. Did we wanna wheel today? Did we hit the wheel? Oh, we didn't hit the wheel today. Oh wait, we did for the bits. We'll do the wheel next time. We'll do the wheel next time. I do have another giveaway to run with you guys. So give me 1 second. You had another minor heart attack. Oh my gosh, Rue, are you okay? I thought I missed an assignment, but it's due Tuesday. Okay, good, good, good. Yeah, spin the wheel for biddies. Thank you, thank you. Okay, let me... I think what? Discord page is gonna be the way to go? Okay, so this is what we're gonna be giving away. Ta-da! This is a sticker, so it's a Brog sticker, and then it's just a little extra Farron's Cabinet logo sticker underneath it. This was what you guys earned the last stream, but I was way too distracted. If I win this somehow again, please spin the wheel again. Absolutely. Let me pull up our giveaway software real quick. Gooby! I decided to play golf with my friend. On the third hole, he said, let's make this interesting. So we stopped playing golf. I love that. I love that so much. How are you doing, Gooby? How are you doing? How are you doing? Okay. If you guys would like to win the Brog sticker you are looking at right now, go ahead and type Brog in the chat. No exclamation or anything, just Brog, B-R-O-G. For those of you who don't know, that is our bat frog. You absolutely can, Snackers, of course. Of course, of course, of course. Trying to process the time change because EU had daylight savings. Oh, ours is coming up, isn't it? It's coming up. Oh, it's the wrong word. My bad. Sometimes I change it and then I click away and it doesn't change it. Okay, Brog. Let's try Brog. We'll just keep Cappy and anyone else who got in with the word dog. That's fine. Never thought I'd say this, but I actually wanted to work today and yesterday, but my computer says, nope, weekdays only for work. Wait, what's going on with it? Is it just not loading stuff? That's wild. Gorb. Okay, I'll give you guys a couple more seconds to enter. Drink some of my coffee. For those who didn't know, I did set up a fourth wall if you're interested in any of these things. I set up a lot of merch over here. I kind of like the way fourth wall works more than Redbubble, and I was able to make all of the items cheaper for you guys to purchase. So I'm super excited. There's also this really interesting feature with when we're live. If you want, you can purchase an item for me to do a giveaway live on stream. I'm not entirely sure how that works, but I just figured I'd mention it. Okay, are we ready? Are we ready to spin the wheel? Let's do it. This is your last chance. Add Brog in chat if you would like to enter the giveaway. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Let's do. I'm working my way through my third cinnamon roll. So whether I win a sticker or not, I feel like a winner today. Yeah, I turned off the music because it's so loud. And like the little slider adjuster never worked for me, so it's gone. Out of here. Third cinnamon rolls. Snackers! Congratulations! Congratulations, congratulations. I will go ahead and I will send that. It always crashes on you? What? That's wild. That's crazy. I will give it to who gifted you the sub. That's what you would like, right? Yeah. Oh, thank you so much for giving me the reminder, Rain. That was so sweet. So sweet. If you would like to change your mind and you do want it sent to you, Snackers, I can totally do that. It was brand. Okay, cool. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. Well, on that note, we are going to call it for today. Wednesday is going to be our co-working stream. Thursday, we're going to start the day by catching up on Display Cabinet. So if you have anything you'd like to share with everybody, please do share it in the Display Cabinet. We'll be doing that Thursday. What else? I think that's all. I have a lot of video games lined up to play on stream, so we probably won't be having too many crafting streams coming up. But they will be there, just a little less than normal. Thank you for being here, Bran. Oh my gosh, Rue. No worries. You were getting some sleeps. You needed it. Let me go ahead and bring us to our end page. We can look at all the credits and start looking into what sweet streamer we're gonna go visit today. Good and bad side about it, because of the week being an hour less apart. Oh, the streamers who start after I finish work and before I go to sleep, I'd have an extra hour to watch. But the ones who start before I get home from work, I'd miss. Oh, I hate that. It's like a win-lose. It's so bad. Okay, let me see where we're gonna go today, okay? Let me see. Thank you guys so much for being here. I'm so excited to be jumping back into a regular stream schedule with you guys. I've missed you all so much. For the missing an extra hour applies to... No, that sucks though. That sucks so bad. Gonna miss the Celeste time. Gonna miss the hour. Okay, let me see. I know where we're going. We're gonna go right into the very sweet Jessa today. For those of you guys who don't know, Jessa is one of our community members here in the cabinet. And it looks to me like they have some news to announce. I don't know. Very excited. I think they're sewing, so that'll be nice to go check up on. Let's get it going. Thank you for the hydrate. Yeah, they have some newsy news. I'm very excited to hear. My stream deck is acting a little funny, so give me 1 second as I get this going. One for the road. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, we're gonna see if this works. I haven't rated out in chat in a hot minute. There we go. Awesome. Cool. It's working. Please join me in going and sending some love over there to them. They so much deserve it. They're such a sweet bat. Such a sweet little baddie. Here is not. Will that work? No. Okay. I don't have my my raid chant. There we go. It popped up. Cool. That worked too. There we go. Sub and follower raid chant. Thank you guys so much for being here. I will see you Wednesday. Have a very good day. I'm gonna leave a link behind in case Twitch ditches some of you, and then I will grab my own raid chant and we will be on our way out. Okay. Bye guys. Be safe. Have a good one. Bye.